to fully appreciate what happens today in the gospel, I think it's important to use our imagination and to picture ourselves present in the moment that this incredible miracle happened. So let's do this. Let's imagine that we are one of the 10 lepers. And let's imagine that we have run into Jesus, and Jesus told us, if you want to be healed, you have to walk to Jerusalem to present yourself to the priest. So as we're walking, the lepers, towards Jerusalem, suddenly we start noticing that we're becoming cleansed and that we're healing. Obviously, this fills us with joy. Lepers, as we are, suddenly being healed of something that we've been suffering for many years. But then something strange happens, because one of us says, I'm going back to find Jesus. So I think that the reaction of the lepers was, why are you going back to Jesus if he just told us that we're supposed to go to the priest? Think about it. Why are you going back? We've already been walking this way. You want to go back? And Jesus himself told us to go to the priest. Why would you go back if he told you that we should go to the priest? I guess that the leper said, wouldn't it make more sense if we go to the priest? The priest confirms that we've been healed, and then we go back to Jesus? But this man, this leper, insisted, I want to go back right now to Jesus. And it's interesting because when he comes back to Jesus, Jesus doesn't tell him, hey, you were supposed to go to the priest, even though Jesus said that in the beginning. Jesus welcomes him back and asks him, where are the other lepers? And he could have answered, but you told us to go to the priest. They're on their way to the priest. So what's the lesson here? Why does Jesus expect them to come back even when he told them to go to the priest? I think that out of the 10 lepers, only one of them, in the midst of the joy and the happiness of having been healed, was able to identify and to recognize and to see in Jesus someone even greater than the priest and the temple and the law. I think that the great merit of the Samaritan was not so much being thankful, because I think they were all thankful, but I think it was the capacity in recognizing in Jesus not only a man that performs miracles, but the Messiah himself. And that's why I think he came back, and the other ones didn't. Not because they weren't thankful of what happened, but because only one among the 10 was able to notice who did the miracle. The other ones were too, let's say, taken by the emotion of the miracle. So what's the lesson for us? I think that maybe a useful lesson could be, next time that we find ourselves in a prosperous situation, next time that good things happen to us, next time that we receive good news, next time that we feel that things go our way, I think it would be interesting not to be too caught up with the emotion of the good news, but to be able to say, in the midst of the good news, Jesus is present also in the prosperous moments. So that we have the same capacity as that Samaritan leper to be able to identify Jesus and who he is, and not to be caught up with a moment like the rest of the lepers.